The fire crackled, casting dancing shadows on the faces of the Serbian farmers gathered around. They spoke little English, and I, even less Serbian. But the language of laughter, of shared stories told with expressive hands and eager eyes, transcended any linguistic barrier. We were a motley crew brought together by chance and a shared love for simple pleasures, good company, hearty food, and the star-studded expanse of the Serbian sky. The air, thick with the scent of wood smoke and roasting lamb, buzzed with a warmth that had little to do with the fire. This, I thought, is what travel is all about. I had arrived in Serbia earlier that day, a country I knew little about, with nothing but a backpack and a thirst for adventure. This trip was different. This time I was on a mission to prove that the greatest journeys don't require a fat wallet, just an open mind and a willingness to embrace the unknown. This was my attempt to travel through 4 countries without spending a single dime. Traveling on a shoestring, let's be honest, is nothing new. Jack Kerouac did it almost a century ago, thumbing his way across America with nothing but a notebook and a head full of dreams. But in this age of budget airlines and Instagram influencers peddling travel hacks, it seems like the true spirit of adventurous, independent travel has been lost. My goal was simple: to rediscover that spirit, to prove that the world is still an open book even if your pockets are empty. My methods were a mix of old-school resourcefulness and modern-day ingenuity. Hitchhiking was my primary mode of transport, relying on the kindness of strangers to get me from one place to the next. For accommodation, I embraced the generosity of online communities like couchsurfing, connecting with locals who opened their homes and offered a glimpse into their lives. Food, often the biggest expense for travelers, became a communal affair. I volunteered at local farms in exchange for meals, learning traditional cooking methods and sharing stories over steaming bowls of homemade stew. The Balkans, with their rugged mountains, ancient history, and a certain raw, untamed beauty, seemed like the perfect testing ground for my experiment. The region's diverse cultures and tumultuous past have shaped a landscape that is as varied as it is breathtaking. From the ancient ruins that whisper tales of bygone eras to the jagged peaks that challenge even the most seasoned adventurers, the Balkans offer a unique blend of the old and the new, the wild and the serene. My journey began in Belgrade, the Serbian capital, a city that pulses with energy, where the old fortress overlooks the confluence of the Sava and Danube rivers, and the streets are alive with the sounds of bustling markets and lively cafes. Belgrade, with its mix of brutalist architecture and vibrant street art, set the stage for the adventure that lay ahead. Standing on the outskirts of the city, thumb outstretched, I felt a familiar surge of excitement mixed with a healthy dose of uncertainty. The thrill of the unknown, the anticipation of who might stop, and the stories that would unfold with each ride. It was a leap into the unpredictable, a dance with fate on the open road. The first ride came from a burly truck driver named Marco, who spoke no English but communicated his love for Serbian folk music through enthusiastic gestures and a steady stream of turbo folk blasting from his radio. Despite the language barrier, we shared a connection through the universal language of music, and the miles flew by as we laughed and nodded along to the rhythm. Marco dropped me off at a small village nestled in the foothills of the Tara Mountains. The village, with its quaint houses and serene surroundings, felt like a step back in time. Here, life moved at a slower pace, and the air was filled with the scent of pine and the distant sound of cowbells. This is where I met the farmers who took me in for the night, plying me with homemade rakia, plum brandy, and stories of their lives. Around a rustic wooden table, we shared laughter and tales, bridging the gap between our worlds with each sip of the potent drink. Their hospitality was a testament to the warmth and generosity that defines the people of this region. Each day brought new encounters, new landscapes, and new lessons in resourcefulness. From the rolling hills of Bosnia to the coastal roads of Montenegro, the journey was a tapestry of ever-changing scenery and experiences. Every ride was a new chapter, every stop a new story waiting to be told. I learned to navigate the nuances of nonverbal communication, to rely on intuition and a bit of calculated risk-taking. In a region where language barriers were common, gestures, smiles, and the occasional drawing in the dirt became my tools for connection. It was a humbling reminder of the power of human interaction beyond words. I learned to trust the kindness of strangers, a leap of faith that was always rewarded tenfold. From shared meals to offers of shelter, the generosity I encountered was overwhelming. It reaffirmed my belief in the goodness of people and the unspoken bond that connects travelers and hosts alike. Each act of kindness was a beacon of hope, lighting the way on my journey through the heart of the Balkans. Belgrade, a city of contrasts. Belgrade, a city where ancient history collides with modern-day grit, welcomed me with open arms. The cityscape is a fascinating blend of the old and the new, where centuries-old fortresses stand tall amidst modern high-rises and cobblestone streets lead to bustling avenues. I spent my days exploring its bustling markets where I bartered for fresh produce using the few words of Serbian I had picked up along the way. The markets were a sensory overload with the vibrant colors of fruits and vegetables, the chatter of vendors, and the tantalizing aroma of freshly baked bread filling the air. I wandered through the bohemian quarter of Skadarlia, soaking up the sounds of street musicians and the aroma of strong Turkish coffee. The narrow, winding streets were lined with charming cafes and art galleries, each one a testament to the city's rich cultural heritage. I visited the imposing Belgrade Fortress, a silent witness to centuries of conflict and resilience, its ramparts offering panoramic views of the confluence of the Sava and Danube rivers. The fortress, with its ancient walls and hidden tunnels, seemed to whisper stories of battles fought and won, of empires that rose and fell. Evenings were spent in smoky kafanas, traditional Serbian taverns, where I listened to tales of love, loss, and the indomitable spirit of the Serbian people. The atmosphere was always lively with the clinking of glasses, the strumming of guitars, and the heartfelt singing of traditional songs. I learned a few Serbian folk dances, my two left feet clumsily trying to keep up with the locals. The dances were a joyous celebration of life, with intricate steps and lively music that brought everyone together in a shared moment of happiness. The generosity of the people I met continued to amaze me. Strangers would go out of their way to help, offering directions, sharing stories, and even inviting me into their homes for a meal. Their warmth and hospitality made me feel like I was part of a big extended family. A group of students, intrigued by my story, shared their lunch with me. A simple meal of burek, a savory pastry, and yogurt that tasted like a feast. We sat on the steps of a university building, laughing and talking about our dreams and aspirations, bridging the gap between cultures with every word. A kind old woman, noticing my worn-out boots, gifted me a pair of her grandson's old shoes. Her gesture was a poignant reminder of the kindness that exists in the world, and it left a lasting impression on me. As I walked away in my new shoes, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the people of Belgrade and the unforgettable experiences they had given me. Budapest on a budget, thermal baths and ruin bars. Budapest, a city that effortlessly blends the old with the new, offers a unique experience for every traveler, especially those on a budget. From Belgrade, I hitched a ride to Budapest, Hungary's Queen of the Danube. The journey itself was an adventure filled with scenic views and the anticipation of exploring a new city. Budapest is a city steeped in history and brimming with architectural grandeur, but it's also a city that knows how to have a good time, often on a budget. Walking through its streets, you can feel the pulse of its vibrant culture and the echoes of its storied past. My first stop was the Széchenyi Thermal Baths, a Budapest institution. These baths are not just a place to relax, but a cultural experience offering a glimpse into the local way of life. I had heard rumors of a secret entrance that allowed free entry during the last hour of operation. Intrigued, I decided to investigate further. A bit of discreet questioning and a dash of good luck led me to a side gate where I slipped in unnoticed, just as the sun began to set. The twilight added a magical touch to the experience. Soaking in the mineral-rich waters, surrounded by locals and tourists alike, the weight of the journey melted away. The warm waters and the serene atmosphere were the perfect antidote to travel fatigue. Budapest's ruin bars, housed in dilapidated buildings and courtyards, became my nightly haunts. These bars are a testament to the city's creative spirit, transforming abandoned spaces into vibrant social hubs. These bohemian enclaves offered cheap drinks, live music, and a chance to mingle with fellow travelers in Budapest's young and creative set. Each bar had its own unique charm, with eclectic decor and a lively atmosphere. I slept in hostels, swapping travel stories with backpackers from every corner of the globe. These interactions added a rich layer to my travel experience as I learned about different cultures and shared my own adventures. Mornings were spent exploring local markets, sampling traditional Hungarian dishes, and soaking in the everyday life of Budapest. The city's culinary scene is a delight for food lovers, offering everything from hearty goulash to sweet chimney cakes. Evenings often found me strolling along the Danube, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink. The riverbanks are a perfect place to unwind and reflect on the day's adventures. As night fell, the city transformed into a glittering spectacle, with landmarks like the Parliament Building and Chain Bridge illuminated against the night sky. Budapest, with its rich history and vibrant culture, offers an unforgettable experience for any traveler. A taste of Vienna free food and classical music, Vienna, Austria's elegant capital, awaited. Vienna, with its imperial palaces, grand coffee houses, and reputation for classical music, seemed like a city that demanded a hefty budget. But I was determined to experience its charms without spending a dime. I discovered that Vienna is a city that loves its free outdoor concerts. Every evening, squares and parks come alive with the sounds of Mozart, Strauss, and Beethoven. I spent my evenings hopping from one concert to another, picnicking in parks with bread and cheese I had procured from a local bakery that gave away its unsold goods at the end of the day. To my surprise, Vienna also proved to be a haven for free food enthusiasts. I stumbled upon weekly farmers markets where vendors offered generous samples of their wares: artisanal cheeses, cured meats, freshly baked bread. I even managed to snag a free lunch at a vegetarian food festival, feasting on lentil stews and vegan cakes. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more travel videos.